We're all familiar with the problem. You get terribly excited about a particular document that you found, show it to a cousin who you are sure will be equally enthused, who says, "What's this? What's it got to do with our family? Where's the important bits of information?" There's a terrible temptation to grab the relevant piece, blow it up, and show that to the cousin instead. But of course, you know the response will be, well, where does this come from? What's it part of? How does it all fit together? Ideally, of course, we'd like to do both. Highlight one part of the document so that the information jumps out at them, but leave it within the context of the whole document. And that's what we're going to demonstrate how to do here this afternoon using the software Irfanview, freely downloadable and a wonderfully flexible tool. So let's see how we can do it. Here I have Irfanview open, and the birth certificate of my grandmother's little sister, Susan, is loaded in it. We'll just change the zoom level down to something where we can see the whole document. And this is the piece that I want to draw my recalcitrant cousin's attention to. So the first thing I'll do is to select the area. Go up to the Edit menu and crop the selection, cut it out. The rest of the document has been discarded. We then go to Image, and we want to add shadows, shapes, or rounded corners. We'll just bring this on screen so we can see it nicely. There are a couple of settings there. We want to set the rounded corners, the radius, so we're just going to trim these off nicely and make them look pretty. We want to set the shadow size. We're going to put a line around the outside. Notice the setting here is shadow is around the image. We would normally expect a drop shadow to be, as it says here, on the right side of the bottom, but we want it to go all the way around. And we've set a size for that shadow which corresponds roughly to the curvature of the radius. What's that shadow going to look like? It will depend on what colour is in here. Now you could just leave it at white, but what I suggest we do is go in and choose some nice highlight colour. I'm rather fond of this terracotta or burnt umber or whatever it is. Select OK and apply it to the current image. And you see we get that nice effect. Now you could use it like that, but since we've got nice rounded corners here, I don't like the look of those square ones. So let's go in and choose a second colour, white. OK. Apply it to the current image, and we now have lovely rounded corners inside and out. Click OK, and that phase is complete. Now what we want to do is put this little image back in the big one. The first step is to go up, edit, copy. So we have two copies of this now, one sitting on the screen and one on the clipboard. What we want on screen here is the rest of the document. So we say File, Reopen. Reset the zoom level again. This is the area that we took out. We could paste back into it, but what I like to do is to select an area that's a tiny bit larger than where it came from. And when I do a paste, Irfanview will fill that space. So there'll be a fractional enlargement. Edit, paste, and there we have it. Final step, of course, is File, Save As. we don't want to call it copy anymore, so we'll call it highlighted birth and save. And that's how we can create a highlight of one part of an image without removing the rest. Just to quickly run through the process again. Once we've loaded the whole image, we selected the area, used Edit Crop to cut out the piece to be highlighted. Image Add Shadow is the menu command that actually does the work for us. In there we set a corner radius, a shadow size, and the shadow position. Now, of course, once you've done these a couple of times, it's likely that Irfanview will have your previous settings there. So you could go direct to choosing your first background colour, apply to the current image, second background colour, apply it, OK, and it's done. You can experiment with your own choice of colours. I'm sure you can make it look classier than I have, or even sillier. Once we've got all of that processed, Edit Copy puts the highlight on the clipboard, File Reopen brings back the original. We select the place in the original where the highlight is going to go. As I say, if you make it a slightly larger area, you'll get a tiny magnification that looks nice. Edit Paste puts the two together. File Save saves it with a new name because you have now actually altered the original file, which is why we started with copy of. I hope you find that useful and can use it to engage some of those difficult